Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And what we're going to talk about today is one of the things that we told you was coming pretty quick the second that it dropped. The discharge petitions that would introduce gun control and circumvent McCarthy and the committees that are necessary for normal bills. Now, these are the who's who of gun control. Assault weapons ban, universal background checks, mag bans, the works. And we told you about it right now, where there's another wrinkle and they've lost one of the turncoat Republicans, the RINOs, in the House necessary for this move to even become a possibility. Everything will be linked in the description box below, and I cannot wait to hear from you guys on this one because this is part of the drama, baby. Let's get it. Like I said, everything linked, and make sure you like, subscribe, and turn the notification bell on because we need all the distribution of freedom we can, and we do it twice a day. Thank you so much for your consideration. Let's get into this. I cannot wait to hear what you guys think. Key Republican deals a blow to House Democrats' new push for tougher gun laws. Representative Brian Fitzpatrick of Pennsylvania voted for an assault weapons ban and stricter background checks last year, but he rejects Democratic attempts to end-run McCarthy and forced votes. Now, we told you about this when it was breaking earlier this week, when the Democrats were doing an end-run with assault weapons bans. They thought for sure they had assault weapon bans and the votes for locks from Republicans like Brian Fitzpatrick. Now, a little memory for you. Brian Fitzpatrick is one of the key Republicans, one of two, that made the assault weapons ban possible in the House last year. Wouldn't have happened without him. But now, all of a sudden, he's not in line for it. He's not down with it. In fact, he's got some comments about it. It's interesting how time can change so many things, isn't it? Check this out. Because this guy is a RINO. Make no mistake. I'm not lauding his move here. I'm saying interesting because this guy is a turncoat. Anyway, let's keep going. A rare House Republican who supports stricter gun measures said he won't back a Democratic effort to end-run Speaker Kevin McCarthy and force a vote on a trio of bills to implement those restrictions. Again, we've covered those in another video. But listen to these quotes. This is a Republican from Pennsylvania. Quote, "At some point, we need to start thinking about getting things done rather than sending messages across the floor of the House," Representative Brian Fitzpatrick, Republican Pennsylvania, said in an interview Thursday. "It's a very intellectually dishonest way of proceeding when you don't have any strategy to pass the bills through the Senate," he said. Isn't that interesting? There was no strategy the last time that he voted for an assault weapons ban, and he was one of the only two Republicans who actually did it, enabling it to pass. Interesting how all of a sudden you don't have a strategy doesn't work, because back then they didn't have a strategy either. The filibuster was blocking it. You and I talked about it a consistent amount of time because flat out it fell on its face. But let's continue. I got to show you what they're doing here because the who's who of gun control in the House is all on board for this, and they just lost this guy. Why? Check this out. A trio of Democrats, Representatives Lucy McBath of Georgia, James Clyburn of South Carolina, and Mike Thompson of California, is pushing discharge petitions to try to force votes on a bill to ban so-called assault weapons and two bills to impose tougher background checks for gun sales. The tactic requires signatures from a majority of the House to force floor votes against the wishes of GOP leaders in charge. Now, just to remind you from the past, that's H.R. 1808, the assault weapons ban from last year. That is H.R. 8 and H.R. 1446 from the years prior. All they're doing is recycling old stuff, but they're trying to do it through a discharge petition, which is probably not going to work. But let me show you. Fitzpatrick was one of the Democrats' few, if only, natural allies to get a majority of the House to support the move. His opposition deals a major blow to the push, which will require at least a half-dozen House Republicans to sign the discharge petition to force a vote. They got to get more Republicans in an even more hostile House. Well, they've lost even more of a majority, and they just lost one of the only two guys left. Actually, he is the only guy left that voted for an assault weapons ban the last time. This is how silly these discharge petitions are, but we've got to talk about it so we can get in front of it because I have no doubt that the pressure that's been created around this had something to do with this defection of a prior fully approved point from Representative Brian Fitzpatrick. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.